Well, like we were talking, it's we had to do that because we didn't know that many songs.
So from Suzzies on what I'm sure was Christmas Day of 1985 with our first gig, me and you, your brother Chuck on drums, and Christian Banker on vocals, going into 86, which I know is a big year for us at the Jockey Club. That's when we saw, as I said a moment ago, the Cramps, to this day, the greatest show I've ever seen. Johnny Thunders was in 86.
I fell asleep on the jukebox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the jukebox, the pinball game.
Fell asleep on the pinball machine while Johnny Thunders was playing.
PBR.
12 pack, 16 years old. But so I think in 86, we got to where, as you mentioned a moment ago, my good friend, again, a good friend to this day, Mr. Paul Horton, he was something of a right-hand man and a close personal friend, if not the best friend of Bill Least, the guy that was making things happen down there at the legendary Jockey Club, the infamous Jockey Club in Newport, Kentucky. We'll have to dedicate one of these Zoom call conversations to just talking about the Jockey, because how fucking lucky were we to have that be a part of our teenage years? Like, Jesus Christ, we met Johnny Thunders, we saw the Cramps and the Ramones like the same fucking week.
And, and on the Tuesday after, we'd be on that stage.
Yeah, exactly. But going into
looking up at the tile, do you think that bottle that Lux Interior threw up there is still there?
Well, somebody did tell me later that was claimed. I think it was Bill Least that dragged a ladder out on the floor and climbed up and reached up and that drop ceiling and claimed that wine bottle that Lux threw up into the ceiling. That's another story.
I still tell people that was the greatest live show I ever saw.
In fact, and you know what? We'll do that. We'll dedicate one of these conversations, one of these recorded segments, to just talk about the Jockey Club, because it was amazing. And I have a friend named Brian Dilcision who knows, he's friends with a woman named Candy Del Mar, who's a bass player in the Cramps at the time. She has told Brian that even the Cramps, including Lux and Poison Ivy, they considered that one of the greatest gigs that they'd ever played. So the Cramps were amazing in their day, nothing like them. And that's not some figment of our imagination or some, rose-colored glasses reminiscing recollection of our teenage years. It really was just off the scale, amazing. Nothing like it before or since.
No, they set the bar so high with that one show that even seeing them at Bogart's, dragging people around, it's like, you got to see this band. This is the greatest show I ever saw. And and they had the Reverend Horton Heat open up for them at Bogart's, and it just wasn't same.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were always great. I think I saw them 3 or 4 times after that. It was always great. But even the Cramps themselves never came close to that again. And, you and I, as we were talking about earlier, all the different kinds of music we're into, all the different shows we've been to, small shows in little clubs, large shows in basketball arenas and stadiums and shit. That Cramp show at the Jockey Club is just on a whole other level. Most people, if you live to be a million, you'll never experience anything like that.
No, and you'll never go to, where was that? The University of Kentucky in a cafeteria on Flea's birthday and see the Red Hot Chili Peppers in a cafeteria on Flea's birthday.
You and I went to that show together. I remember that because Raging Slab was the opening act. They were more like a Southern rock band, but like heavy, like a Metallica from the South or something.
There was some great slide guitar in that band.
And the Chili Peppers, like that stage was a bunch of like cafeteria tables pushed together. Somebody thought, oh, this is just some like alt rock band that's going to set up and play. And there were tables that were turned on their sides for a barricade in front of the stage. And as soon as that band came out, it was like one loud bang, a deafening bang of all those tables coming down at once and getting passed back over the crowd. Incredible.
Incredible. And now was that was after Hillel died, wasn't it?
Yeah, that would have been, let's see, this is before Mother's Milk. Was that on like a, damn, okay, we're talking late.
Uplift?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it is. I think it was. We're talking late 80s, not early 90s. So Uplift Mofo Party Plan would have been, now we're getting into like 86, 87. That's the ball
Yeah.
talking about here. So into 86, we were
For the
playing.
Speed Hickeys.
We were playing a lot at Sudsy Malone's in 86, and that's when I wish to God I knew the exact date of our first gig at the Jockey Club, but I know that we broke in there in 86 and 87. I had graduated, actually I saw the Dead Kennedys at the Jockey Club in May of 85, a month before graduating in June of 85.
I'm so pissed about that show.
That was a fucking game changer for me because, I mean, there's a lot I could say about seeing the Dead Kennedys when I was 17 and sneaking into this seedy-ass punk rock bar in Newport, Kentucky that, again, like I was talking about over the Rhine a moment ago, Newport was fucking dangerous back then. Especially.
Yeah, and that was the deciding factor because Dead Kennedys never came back.
Yeah.
And I stupidly said, no, I have to work.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever made that mistake again about a concert that I wanted to see.
Yeah, and after seeing them in May of 85, graduated in June of 85, you and Christian are a year younger than me and Chuck. You guys graduated